No Trump trial today, thank God, and I mean that literally. This whole thing after Stormy Daniels' testimony and cross-examination is a big black mark against the state of New York. I mean, it's a fiasco. It's shocking when you think about it, what's going on in that courtroom. This never should take place in any courtroom anywhere in this country. This is so obviously driven by politics. It's insane. And I spent about 20 minutes with Sean Hannity on the radio talking about that. Hannity and I see it a little differently. I think Trump's going to be acquitted in the sense that there's going to be a hung jury, and the Manhattan DA, embarrassed beyond belief already, even though he probably doesn't even know it, won't retry the case. But I could be wrong on that, but I'm putting myself on the jury, and I wrote a message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com. I'm the jury. This is what I'm hearing. Okay, so you might want to check that out. But be that as it may, all right, this is an acute embarrassment. And any intelligent person knows this. Should never be taking place in a republic like we have. And then there is the political aspect of it all. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So I believe it's very, very possible Donald Trump emerges stronger after all this legal stuff is behind him, which will be in about 3 weeks. So this fiasco hush money trial should be over in about 3 weeks. Okay? Jury comes back. Jury says what it says. Immediate appeals. Okay? Trump's not going to jail unless he hits the judge with a pie. And even if the judge does sentence him to confinement, it's not going to be jail. It's going to be in his Trump Tower apartment with an ankle bracelet. Okay, you can't put sitting former president in jail for this. And so that case, no matter how it goes, is pretty much done already in the court of public opinion. Again, even if you hate Trump's guts, you got to know this is just bogus. Okay? I mean, we proved it yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's No Spin News, if you're a premium concierge member, you can get a transcript of it. Because I just take the whole thing apart. I don't want to do that again today. Now, in Florida, federal judge Eileen Cannon has said the Mar-a-Lago documents case not going to be heard anytime soon. And guess who predicted that on Monday? She said that yesterday, one day before. Here's what your humble correspondent said. Mar-a-Lago documents, the Florida federal judge is going to delay it. We're going to find a way to delay it. And even if she doesn't, it's almost impossible to convict Trump on that when Biden got a free pass. So I don't know how to even do it. Now, am I an oracle? Come on, am I a soothsayer? One day prior, I predict she's going to delay it, and then she does. Now, maybe she's watching the No Spin News. Very possible. But I'm not going to take credit for that. My ego's big enough. But this is why you are watching and listening to me right this moment. Because that's what we do. We're ahead of it. That Mar-a-Lago case is not going to be heard until after the election. And the judge says, look, we don't have enough information about the classified documents and whatever to reopen this trial. We can't. So that's gone. Supreme Court, as I told you, is going to kick back the January 6th case to the lower federal courts for more definition on how a president is immunity, what kind of immunity the president should have. So that'll delay it way beyond the election. Fani Willis, poor Fani. My God. Fani now says she's being called in front of the Georgia State Senate, and Fani says, I'm not showing up. I'm not going to testify, even though they demand that she testify. Roll the tape.
Will you appear before a Georgia Senate committee without a subpoena?
Well, first of all, I don't even think they have the authority to subpoena me, but they need to learn the law.
So will you appear, yes or no?
I will not appear to anything that is unlawful. And I have not broken the law in any way.
They can hold her in contempt. They can fire her. The Attorney General of Georgia can fire. Hey, Fannie, you're fired. Out. Bye. In addition, the courts are looking at, an appeals court is looking at whether Fannie should be on a case anyway. You remember the judge said, oh, yeah, you can be, but you have to fire your boyfriend, which she did. But now the appeals court's going, oh, we don't know. That case is toast. It's gone. So let's recap. Stormy Daniels' fiasco, her testimony alone killed it. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I want him to, Oh, and the jury's sitting there going, what are you doing here, lady? Why are you here? I said to Hannity today, look, the first question, and I don't believe Trump's lawyers are doing a great job. I mean, Merchan, the judge, said, we don't want any salacious testimony. And then 10 seconds later, there's salacious testimony. And then Merchan says, well, the reason was the Trump lawyers didn't object. He has a point. If I'm one of the Trump lawyers, I would have been objecting to every sentence the woman said. Now, I know why the Trump lawyers did it, because they want to show Merchan has no control over the courtroom, which he doesn't. Okay, so they can use that as an appeal. But it could have been better done. So anyway, if you're sitting in the New York courtroom and you're a human being, you go, why is Stormy Daniels there? So she had a social interaction with Donald Trump. She says this happened. Trump says it didn't. But there was a social interaction. They have a picture. Okay. So that happened in 2006. And in 2016, you're demanding money. For what? Why are you demanding money? From the National Enquirer or anybody else? Why? For what? That's the first question. What are you doing here, lady? You know why she's there. We went over to the doorman yesterday. His story is completely bogus, and he got $30,000. And any human being on earth would have said, look, the presidential election is in 7 days. We got to shut these people up. Anybody would have done that, because the press is going to look into the allegations. They're going to put it on page 1. And finally, in this whole fiasco, I wrote a message again about Grover Cleveland, former president, who's the only one that served non-consecutive terms, and that's what Trump's trying to do. He had the exact same thing happen to him in 1874. Exactly the same, but we lived in a different age back then. So check it all out. Anyway, let's sum this up. I think come June 1st, it's all over. All the legal stuff's over for Trump, and he emerges stronger. And that's the memo. Now, the smart people on the left side of the equation, they know I'm right. And they're panicking. And they know that this testimony from Stormy Daniels was absurd. Here's CNN. Go.
So when you have damaging testimony that's highly inflammatory, that could be far more prejudicial to the jury than probative of this story. And so I think some of those details, I'm surprised that the state elicited those. It didn't seem necessary to tell the story.
Correct. The jury's going to be sitting there going, what the deuce is this? Why? You're just trying to humiliate the man. It doesn't prove he did anything, committed any crime. And then, on the left-wing occasion, there are the people on television. Jeez. Jen Psaki, go.
I think many of them want to be close to power. They also assume or have this thought in their mind that maybe Donald Trump will go away. Maybe he'll go to jail. Maybe he will die, not to be too morbid, but maybe, he's not a young man.
Maybe he'll die. So, this is what MSNBC is paying for, that kind of analysis. Well, maybe he'll die. It's so insane. They just blabber. And it's not just the left-wingers, by the way.